Hi friends, you are welcome to Sri Guru Raghavendra Banking Coaching Center. So as of now, then we discussed the current affairs of September month, the current affairs of September current affairs, and now then RBI circulars I am discussing. RBI circulars. These circulars related to the September month. These are related to the September month. So then, once we get finished these RBI circulars, the entire September month current affairs, banking and finance, as well as RBI circulars will get finished. So that is a context here. I am moving to the first and foremost one. Yeah, have a look at this, the first one. RBI update on withdrawal of 2000 rupees banknotes. RBI update on withdrawal of 2000 banknotes. We are very familiar with these 2000 notes. These 2000 notes officially, then 500 as well as 2000 rupees notes officially remonetized by remonetization or remonetized by Reserve Bank of India in 2017. This is remonetization, new currency notes introduced in 2017. But like if you observe on May 19th 2023, these banknotes through its press release, withdrawal announced by the Reserve Bank of India. So RBI had announced the withdrawal of these 2000 rupees denomination banknotes through its press release. So here like on August 1st 2025, the status of the withdrawal with the most recent press release being issued on August 1st 2025. So press release was announced on August 1st. Initially, individuals could deposit or exchange 2000 rupees notes at any bank branch across the country until 2023 they announced. 2023 until 2023 they can deposit these 2000 rupees notes. So 2000 రూపాయల నోట్లు 2023 దాకా డిపాజిట్ చేయడానికి టైంని అనౌన్స్ చేశారు అక్టోబర్ 7th 2023 దాకా. సో ఇనిషియల్లీ ఇండివిజువల్స్ కుడ్ డిపాజిట్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ ద 2000 rupees notes at any bank branch the country until 2023. From May 19th 2023, the facility for exchange of 2000 rupees notes has been available at the 19 RBI issue offices starting October 9, 2023. These offices also began accepting deposits of 2000 rupees notes directly into the bank accounts. So directly into the bank accounts. Though they 2000 రూపాయల నోట్ కనుక మన దగ్గర ఉన్నది కనుక ఇచ్చేసేస్తే దానికి రిలేటెడ్ డినామినేషన్ మన అకౌంట్లో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడం అనేది చేశారు. స్టార్టెడ్ ఎప్పటి నుంచి? అక్టోబర్ 9th నుంచి. Okay, that is the context. So additionally, members of the public have been able to send 2000 rupees notes via Indian Post. ఇండియన్ పోస్ట్ ద్వారా కూడా పంపించి దాన్ని మన అకౌంట్లో డిపాజిట్ చేసుకోవచ్చని అనౌన్స్ చేశారు. ఇక్కడ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్ మనకి అడిగితే డేట్ అడగాలి, లేదా 19 RBI ఇష్యూ ఆఫీసెస్ అన్నాడు కాబట్టి దెన్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ ఛాన్స్ టు గెట్ ఆస్క్ క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రమ్ దాట్. ఓకే, దట్ ఇస్ అ పాయింట్. ఆర్ దే మే ఆస్క్ లైక్ విచ్ డినామినేషన్ ద రిజర్వ్ బ్యాంక్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా announced for the withdrawal in 2023. Likewise, then they may ask question. So that is 2000 rupees denomination. So this is the first one. Then in our discussion, I'm moving to the next one. Have a look at the second one. 32nd meeting of FSDC, Financial Stability and Development Council. FSDC 32nd meeting. 32nd meeting was convened at the Reserve Bank of India Mumbai office under the chairmanship of the Governor of RBI Sanjay Malhotra. So, the subcommittee took stock of the latest global and domestic macroeconomic and financial sector developments, assessing potential implications for the financial stability, potential implications. So, then financial stability పెంచడానికి మనకి దన్న ఎలాంటి సామర్థ్యం అంటే స్ట్రాంగ్గా ఉన్న ఏరియాస్ ఏంటి అని చెక్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఇట్ రివ్యూడ్ ఇంటర్ రెగ్యులేటరీ ఇష్యూస్ విత్ ద స్పెషల్ అటెన్షన్ టు ద సింప్లిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ కేవైసీ ప్రాసెస్. కేవైసీ ప్రాసెస్ని సింప్లిఫై చేసి ఎక్కువ మందిని బ్యాంక్ వైపు అట్రాక్ట్ చేయడం, అది ఫినాన్షియల్ ఇంక్లూజన్ని అచీవ్ చేయడం. స్పెషల్ డ్రైవ్స్ ఫర్ ద ఫినాన్షియల్ ఇంక్లూజన్ ఎయిమ్డ్ ఎట్ స్ట్రెంథనింగ్ యాక్సెస్ టు ఫార్మల్ ఫినాన్షియల్ సర్వీసెస్. So, this was announced. Here we have to know the full form of FSDC. FSDC is a development council, a subcommittee FSDC SC, subcommittee on financial stability and development council. So, the 32nd meeting of the subcommittee chaired by the Sanjay Malhotra, governor of RBI, and the members also discussed national strategy for financial inclusion. This is very important. National strategy for financial inclusion, that is 2025-30. National strategy. So, how we are going to get improve the financial inclusion inclusion. So, then the related information discussed during this particular meeting, and which seeks to provide a long-term roadmap for sustaining financial access across all segments of the society, provide a long-term society. Additionally, the meeting assessed the functioning of state level coordination committees, committees in states and union territories, as well as activities of the various technical groups engaged in regulatory coordination. So, here like in this particular point, you have to know the 32nd meeting chaired by whom, and FSDC subcommittee. So, then their main targets. So, like their main target, the first and foremost one, simplification of KYC process. Simplification of KYC process is the one, and the second one is financial inclusion, special drives for financial inclusion. There is one. And then they also discussed about the NSF, National Strategy for Financial Inclusion 25-30. That is the one. Okay. Moving to the next one. This is the second one as our discussion. Moving to the next one. Sources of the variation in India's forex reserves. So, for first quarter, sources of variation in India's forex reserves. These forex reserves, several times then I have mentioned, forex reserves maintained at RBI, and forex transactions, foreign exchange transaction done by RBI, banks, and the other financial institutions which have got the permission from RBI to continue their process. That is one. So, sources of variation in India's forex reserves, then we are looking at the Reserve Bank of India published a balance of payments. Then several times then we come across this particular word, balance of payments. Balance of payments data for April and June, for duration April-June 2025, detailing how India's foreign exchange reserves varied during the quarter. ఎలా చేంజెస్ వచ్చాయి ఫారెన్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్లో అనేది ఇక్కడ ప్రజెంట్ చేయడం జరిగిందనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఇంటెన్షన్ బిహైండ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ వన్. సో, ఓవరాల్ చేంజ్ ఇంక్లూడింగ్ వాల్యుయేషన్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్, ద రిజర్వ్స్ రోజ్ 29.8 billion in Q1 compared to increase in 5.6 billion in Q1 2025-26 financial year. So, here like a Q1 financial year 25 means 24-25, financial year 26 means 2025-26. There is a context here. So, here it rose $29.8 billion US dollars, And here, like if you look at the balance of payment related information, so on BOP, balance of payments basis, excluding valuation, reserves increased excluding valuation తీసేయగా $4.5 billion, lower than 5.2 billion increase seen last year. That's the context. So like as a whole, if you observe, like what is balance of payment, what is BOP means, like balance of payments and balance of trade, these two are buzzing words in economy, so pure economy related topics. Generally balance of trade is a balance of trade. Then if you say balance of trade in simple words, the gap between imports and exports, the gap between imports and exports is called balance of trade. If this particular gap is a positive gap, we call it as a trade surplus. Trade surplus is a condition where exports are more and imports are less. On the other hand, we have the negative context is called trade deficit. Trade deficit is a condition where exports are less, imports are more imports. So it may be positive or negative, we call it as balance of trade. The trade gap or trade difference we call. So in simple words, balance of trade is the difference between the imports of the nation in a particular financial year to the exports of the nation for a particular year. Unlike balance of payment, balance of trade, the balance of payments are different. They are different. Generally, then we have different types of accounts in economy in broad sense, trade sense. One is a current account, the other one is a capital account. Generally, these current account comprises of trade related context, exports, imports, etc., trade related activities, and payments related. While doing transactions with the foreign nations and those, so like the current account always discuss about the trade related activities, and then how much imports then we did, how much exports, so how much remittances then turned to India, how much amount then remitted by Indians to the foreign nations. These type of information we will discuss in current account. On the other hand, unlike this current account, capital account comprises of investments in foreign direct investments, foreign portfolio investments, all these kind of investments, capital market investments. So one is a visible one, the other one is a invisible one. Current account is a visible, this is an invisible one. So anyway, simple words like the gap between this current account and capital account, the gap between this current account and capital account is called balance of payments. The gap between current account and capital accounts is called balance of payments. And for example, if a current account is there, in current accounts, then our imports are more, we imported more goods and we exported less, then we have chance of getting current account deficit. This is the condition, current account deficit. Current account deficit then occurs, and which creates the foreign exchange related turnings into the nation. So current account deficit ante ఇది కరెంట్ అకౌంట్, దీనిలో ఇక్కడ ట్రేడ్లో వచ్చే గ్యాప్స్ మధ్య కరెంట్ అకౌంట్ డెఫిసిట్ వస్తుంది, నెగిటివ్ కండిషన్. బట్ యాజ్ అ హోల్ కరెంట్ అకౌంట్ క్యాపిటల్ అకౌంట్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ పేమెంట్. సో వీ కెన్ సే బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ట్రేడ్ ఈజ్ అ సబ్సెట్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ పేమెంట్స్. దట్ ఈస్ ద కాంటెక్స్ట్ హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్. So these are the figures related to this particular information. So like if you are familiar with this particular one, that's very clear to understand. Okay, so as a whole, then here like we have to focus on the overall change, valuation effect and valuation effects. So, for the first quarter, then it has given positive results. That's the point then we should remember or recall. Okay. And moving to the next one, forex reserves then we come across. Moving to the next one. Yeah, have a look at this part. India's balance of payments. Balance of payments quarter 1 figures then we come across. Merchandise deficits and those. So, no need to then for your examination, no need to get focused more and more on this one. As I mentioned here, like a current account related information, primary income outgo, personal transfers, remittances, net service receipts, merchandise trade deficit, all these are part of current account. So, balance of payment is a combination of the difference between current account and capital account. Simply then keep this information in your mind, that is enough. And moving to the next one, like if we discuss something about outward remittances under LRS, liberalized remittance scheme. So, liberalized remittance scheme, under this scheme, then Reserve Bank of India announced to get remitter $250,000, that is $250,000 without any this one, then they can transfer $250,000 under RBI's liberalized remittance scheme. Outward remittances under LRS flat in quarter 1 if you observe. International travel dominated with the 3.9 billion, while education remittances dropped to 24.15. Education remittances in the sense, yes, for education courses and services, then this particular one. Outward remittances under RBI's liberalized remittance scheme were $6.92 billion. So, they never ask these numbers, then do not mug up these figures. So, then LRS, you have to know the full form of LRS, that is more than enough. Liberalized remittance scheme of RBI. Who, then they may ask question like who introduces liberalized remittance scheme, or who is the head to control this liberalized remittance scheme. They ask questions like this. So, then you should be prepared with these simple areas. Even if it is a clerical exam, they ask directly what R stands in LRS, because this liberalized remittance scheme is in news, so that then they may pose question related to this one. Okay. So, then what is the limit announced by RBI for this LRS? They ask questions like that. Then if you are familiar with that particular one, that is more than enough. That is the one. So, here like if we discuss something about this particular one, like what are the other things, then we have to know about this liberalized remittance scheme. For example, I will give some related information about this particular one. So, have a look at this particular one. Anyways, LRS is an important one, that is why then I am spending more and more time here. So, liberalized remittance scheme, this was officially introduced by Reserve Bank of India in 2004. This LRS scheme was introduced in 2004 by Reserve Bank of India, then to provide a framework that allows resident Indians to freely remit up to $250,000 per financial year. This is an important point, then we should understand. So, then which provides a framework that allows resident Indians to freely remit up to $250,000 in various permissible current and capital account transactions. In various current account and capital account transactions. That is the point here. And the scheme framed under LRS scheme framed under FEMA Act, FEMA 1999 Act. Foreign Exchange Management Act. Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Under this enactment, LRS was designed to simplify international money transfers for the purposes such as education, travel, healthcare, gifted investments, like this. So then, to simplify the remittances process or money transfers to the foreign countries or international money transfers for the purpose of educational, healthcare, gifts and investments, and further immigration processes, to simplify the system, they introduced this LRI mechanism. In Union Budget 2025 Union Budget, the scheme, by increasing the tax collected at source, TCS, tax collected at source, and then which is free from 7 lakhs to 10 lakh per year. So, making overseas transactions more convenient. With this particular TCS mechanism, whatever they introduced in 2025 budget, that is tax collected at source minus free threshold from 7 lakhs to 10 lakhs per year. This is the threshold given, free threshold 7 lakhs to 10 lakhs per year, making the overseas transactions more convenient. That was announced in 25 budget. So that then these are even then made simple for the access of the customers, the foreign customers or international customers. There is a context here we have to discuss on to remember as well. It's an important point. So now we discussed about LRS, and then this is the point then several times asked in examinations, like the RI, the resident Indians remit up to 2,50,000 rupees per financial year, dollars. So then they can accept, అక్కడి నుంచి పంపించుకోవడానికి ఇక్కడికి మనకి పంపించడానికి లిమిట్ ఎంత అంటే ఒక సంవత్సరంలో 2,50,000 దాకా పంపించుకోవచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ ఎ కాంటెక్స్ట్, సంవత్సరానికి. చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్ అది. ఓకే, సో దెన్ ఐఎమ్ మూవింగ్ టు ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్. ఎస్, హ్యావ్ ఎ లుక్ ఎట్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ వన్. అకౌంట్ అగ్రిగేటర్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ strengthens India's digital public infrastructure. So, account aggregator framework, మనకు తెలుసు, then we are very familiar with the account aggregator framework strengthens India's digital public infrastructure. So, digital public infrastructure is a keyword, then the Reserve Bank of India banking more and more on. So, like if you observe this particular one, account aggregator framework officially launched on September 2021 has emerged as a transformative layer India's digital public infrastructure. So, it brought to bring the changes in this particular digital public infrastructure mechanism. Then this particular one was introduced, and the first conceptualized through the Reserve Bank of India's Master Directions 2016. This AA ecosystem, that is account aggregator ecosystem, provides secure, consent based and encrypted system for financial data sharing. So, ఏదైతే విలువైన మనకి ఆర్థిక పరమైన ఫినాన్షియల్ డేటా ఉంటుందో, ఈ ఫినాన్షియల్ డేటాని చాలా సమర్థవంతంగా, స్ట్రాంగ్గా షేర్ చేయడానికి ఈ అకౌంట్ అగ్రిగేటర్స్ ముఖ్య పాత్ర వహిస్తాయి. ఎందుకు అని అంటే, బ్యాంక్స్ కానీ నాన్ బ్యాంకింగ్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ కంపెనీస్ కానీ రోజువారీ వాళ్ళ యాక్టివిటీస్లో దే కమ్ అక్రాస్ సెన్సిటివ్ డేటా. ఇట్ షుడ్ నాట్ డిస్క్లోజ్ టు సమ్ పర్సన్స్ అనమాట. అది కస్టమర్స్ అవ్వచ్చు, కొన్ని సందర్భాల్లో బ్యాంకర్స్ అవ్వచ్చు. అలా డేటాని చాలా సెక్యూర్గా, కన్సెంట్ బేస్డ్గా, అవసరానికి తగ్గట్టుగా దాన్ని ఎన్క్రిప్ట్ చేసుకునే మెకానిజం మనకి ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తాయి అగ్రిగేటర్స్ అనమాట. It allows individuals and businesses to consolidate their financial information, including bank accounts, investments, loans, insurance and pensions, from multiple institutions and share it with the authorized service providers such as lenders, wealth managers for services like credit access, financial planning and investments, then these account aggregators plays an important role. So as a whole, account aggregators, then while sharing information, they should maintain that security, they should provide security, and then they should provide the content based on the consent. Based on the requirement, they should send the information to a particular party. That is the reason then these works as intermediaries, like then to share the information. So then information is everything nowadays. So then these account aggregators playing a important role. That is a concept related to our this account aggregators information. So that is the context. This is nowhere related one. This information is not related information. So then this is the previous point related information. This is LRS one. Okay. So here account aggregator related information is this one, then which was introduced in 2021 and which conceptualized through the Reserve Bank of India's Master Directions 2016. That is a point then we should understand. What is the function of this account aggregators, what they do in general, which allows individuals and businesses to consolidate their financial information. So bank accounts, investments, loans, insurance, pensions, ఇలాంటి వాటిని ఒక్కొక్క కస్టమర్ లేదా ఒక ఇండివిజువల్ కానీ బిజినెస్ కానీ ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని ఫినాన్షియల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో దాన్ని కన్సాలిడేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి అకౌంట్ అగ్రిగేటర్స్ పనికి వస్తాయి. దిస్ ఇస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్, దిస్ ఇస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ వన్. సో అది ఫంక్షన్ కాబట్టి దాని మీద మనం ఫోకస్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, మూవింగ్ టు ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్. యా, RBI launched new microsite for banknotes. Microsite. What is this microsite? Yes, the Reserve Bank of India has launched a new dedicated microsite for banknotes. This is the name of the site. HTTP hyperlink ఇచ్చాడు ఇక్కడ, indiancurrency.rbi.org.in. Indian currency.rbi.org.in. So which provide the public with a comprehensive digital platform to learn about the India's currency. India currency గురించి తెలుసుకోవడానికి this is the very good platform. So this web portal 360 degree views, 360 degree view in the sense, so like 360 degrees of banknotes, ఏ యాంగిల్లో చూసినా, ఏ డైరెక్షన్లో మీరు బ్యాంక్ నోట్ని చూసినా, detailed information on their design, features and security elements, supported by the multimedia content such as videos, audio guides and animations are provided. And this new platform replaces the earlier microsite, this Paisa Bolta Hai. Paisa Bolta Hai is the previous microsite. This new one replaces the previous one. That is the intention behind this particular one. Okay, I'm moving to the next one. RBI approves Yes Bank AOA. This is business activities wise. AOA is important. Articles of association to enable the appointment of nominee directors on its board. Which one? Yes Bank. So here, like if you observe, the approval comes ahead of the Japan's Sumitomo Mitsui Bank Corporation SMBC acquiring 20% of stake in S Bank through secondary share purchase. Secondary share purchase in the sense, like they are not directly buying, then already who bought that one, from there then these are taking the share. So the transaction involves buying of, out of this 20%, 13.19% from is the SBI and 6.81% collectively from Axis Bank, Bandhan, Federal Bank, HDFC, ICICI, IDFC and Kotak Mahindra. From these then it's buying 6.81%. So Japan's one of the famous banks, that is this Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation acquiring 20% in S Bank. So, like here the Competition Commission of India, generally these type of permissions gives by Competition Commission of India. Competition Commission of India which clears disputes or conflicts between or among Indian companies మధ్య ఎలాంటి డిస్ప్యూట్స్, ఎలాంటి వార్ గొడవలు, బ్యాటిల్, కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్స్, డిస్ప్యూట్స్ రాకుండా ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసే ఒక సంస్థే CCI, కాంపిటీషన్ కమిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. సో వెరీ ప్రామినెంట్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్, కాంపిటీషన్ కమిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, which allowed the Competition Commission of India has already cleared the deal, and after completion SBI's holdings will drop from SBI's holdings. So SBI 13.19%, it is giving part to SMBC. So out of 24%, 24 SBI holdings will drop this. If it drops this particular one, the percentage may come around 10%, over 10%, slightly over 10%, and SMBC will not be classified as a promoter, and it's and SMBC not a promoter here. That is a point we should understand. And here we have to focus on this Competition Commission of India is headquarters located at New Delhi. It plays an important role as I mentioned to clear the complications then between the or among the institutions which are running in India we have. So then which is the CCI is under Ministry of Finance, works under Ministry of Finance, and present commission, this particular commission headed by Ravneet Kaur. Ravneet Kaur is head of this particular executive head of this particular, or chairman we can say, chairperson, CCI chairperson present Ravneet Kaur. And then which, as I mentioned, which ministry responsible is Finance Ministry. That is a context, there is a context here. So this particular one, this commission was officially established CCI 14th October 2003. Competition Commission of India officially introduced in 14th September 2003. So Ravneet Kaur is the head of this CCI. Several points here we discussed. So then if this is confirmed, then State Bank of India's share from 24 to, it will drop from 24% to nearly 10%, approximately 10%. There is a context here. Moving to the next one. Yes, RBI Governor opens daily open house for staff, seeks policy feedback. Daily open house. So then this is a new concept introduced by RBI Governor. So then daily open house. Daily open house, it is a concept introduced for staff and staff of the RBI to seek the policy feedback. So policy feedback, then to know the policy feedback of the RBI in its activities. So then Reserve Bank of India Governor focused on this open house, daily open house concept. So here employees can directly interact with the governor without a prior appointment to share any kind of suggestions improving Reserve Bank of India functioning, excluding the service matters like transfers positioning. Except this transfers position postings, they can discuss all this stuff, additional stuff. So whether the monetary policy should focus on headline inflation or core inflation, 4% target remains optimal, like 4% is 4% is optimal or not, whether the tolerance band needs revision, tolerance band in the sense plus or minus 2 or 4 for inflation. So whether it is okay, or then if any change is required, should the point target be replaced by range for greater flexibility, these kind of things then they can suggest, staff suggest. For that then they given a concept called DOH, daily open house. Then the gates of RBI is opened every time to accept all kind of staff suggestions, except service transfers and postings. There is a context here.